Yo guys, welcome to The Last Lap.
Don't forget to drop a lovely, juicy 5-star rating if you're watching on Apple Podcasts or Spotify.
Hope you enjoy, and let's get into it.
Next category. What's going to be the best and worst livery in 2023? Obviously, we don't know what the cars are going to look like necessarily, but obviously we've got a good idea from what we saw this year and how they look on the new cars.
Well, what's everyone's favourite and least favourite livery of this season?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, because I think as the season progresses, you kind of, your perspective changes maybe a little bit on certain ones. I think the Ferrari's the best still. I thought the Alfa was the best, but actually I think the Ferrari's...
I remember you said Alfa at the start of the season. Yeah. I think the Ferrari's still nice, even if you are seeing it in a blaze of flame at Austria.
Makes it look even better, man. Do you think? Everything looks better when it's on fire.
I think it genuinely looked better then as well, yeah.
Come on.
Sick looking car.
That was great. Right? It really contrasted the red of the paint really well.
Yeah, no, that was quality.
The Louvres, or whatever you call those things.
Oh, yeah. Very
but
also a lot of the liveries changed over the course of the season. So Williams stripped off loads of paint, so theirs was a lot more like blank carbon fibre.
Which I preferred, mate. A bit of matte black carbon fibre, very sexy, but no.
And the Haas obviously changed with Uralkali coming out. So what we thinking for... Because I tell you the one team I have no confidence in from a livery point of view, and we've talked about this before, is Williams.
Oh, mate.
Absolutely none. Absolutely no confidence.
It feels like they have about 50 people designing the livery, and everyone's got their own little section. And it's just so disjointed.
Yeah. Oh, Tommo, I tell you what, it's not helped by the fact that it's so bloody slow. I guarantee you, mate, if they were winning races and putting that P1, P2, all of a sudden the same livery would look a lot sexier. I promise you, mate.
You know what I quite liked? The one livery they've had recently, it was like when it was just like mainly white with a bit of light blue and a bit of black. I think they changed it halfway through the season.
Yeah.
Because it looked like
it was meant to be
before,
it was meant to be Rocket sponsored, I think, again, but then Rocket pulled out. Yeah, the toothpaste one.
Sofina or something.
Sofina, which is like...
So it looked like toothpaste originally, but then they changed it and it looked really nice. But the one this year, it looks like, what I always say is it looks like a default livery you'd get on the F1 game from the start.
God, that's so hard.
Like level 4, like livery that you, if you play like 4 races, boom, you've unlocked it.
It's like a mid-range livery you unlock. It's like a mid-level Pokemon.
Yeah,
it's just forgettable. It's a war turtle.
That's for me out here.
You get it on. You get it for like online. You're like, I might use that. You never use it. Like never.
So yeah, for 23, I've got no confidence in the Williams personally. What about you two? In terms of like no confidence going into next year?
Neither from an aesthetic livery perspective or a performance perspective. Now that Capito's left, I mean, come on, I just don't rate it. But to my point though, Haas I hated at the start of the season, but as soon as K-Mag drops it on pole, all of a sudden. Doesn't look like a bad car. I know you shouted them out at the start of the season, the white and the aqua fresh red and blue. It doesn't look bad all of a sudden. So I wouldn't be surprised if Haas put together a decent aesthetic as far as their livery for 20.
Yeah. You know what it is, if Williams came to the table with just a Duracell battery livery, so like a little bit of orange at the front,
John Player special.
If they just brought a AA battery to the table, I think that would be all right. Honestly, that would be good.
And then it'd be Alex's helmet design would be like the Duracell bunny.
Yeah.
With like the ears.
Oh my God! Actual ears coming off as well.
We've seen weird. Lando's got his basketball helmet, his Halo helmet.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, best helmet of the year. That.
Yeah, 1,000.
So incredible.
Banger, absolutely. So what about? I'm trying to think. I mean, Aston Martin's was very good. They've got a very good colour palette.
Aston Martin might bring but then
bring some fire in 23.
I feel like they could, but also then I feel like they might just like leave it the same. I don't know. I don't mind if they leave it the same. It looks nice this season.
How much are they going to change? Just bloody green with a couple different... What can they do? Looks very sexy though still.
Yeah. It's true. Do we think many of them are going to change? That's a good point actually. Do we think many are going to change that much? Because I guess there's an argument to be made that... So you look at, I don't know, the McLaren of the early 90s, late 80s, and it's like that Marlboro livery was the same year after year after year, and that made it iconic. And that's why, we never see much of a departure from Red Bull. They've made their livery quite iconic. Mercedes in more recent years, I know they had the all-black livery, obviously, but that kind of fundamental silver with the Petronas swoosh along the side, that's fundamentally stayed the same. So in terms of big change. It's like McLaren, I expect to stay quite similar.
Yeah.
Because they've already rolled out their Formula E livery, which is very similar to their current F1 livery.
It's all about branding these days now, isn't it? And if you can keep a strong brand for like a few, 5-10 years or whatever.
This is what I mean. I think Williams don't have that identifiable.
1,000. Their liveries have been completely different over like the last 4 years.
They don't have a brand identity as far as their aesthetic. I agree with you, mate. But again, maybe they start winning some races or getting some points, and that comes to the fore. It all looks different now. All look different.
Well, there was many banging liveries back in the 90s, like that MTV purple one that's sick. And because it was
orange
at the
arrows, bring orange arrows.
So I mean, you need to, like, they're not as memorable as the McLaren, as the Williams, as like all of these, or the Benetton or whatever, because they weren't at the front, like you say. If they're not at the front and doing bits, then they kind of
bring back Jaguar as well. Elite liveries. The early 2000s had the best liveries.
Yeah.
Easy. Facts.
What is the best livery ever? I know you'd have done a video on this. It's got to be the MP4, the marble.
You can't ask a man like me a question like that, can you?
This early in the morning.
Yeah. You know what? So of more recent times, I think the Toro Rosso was
the blue one.
Sexy.
gold. Yeah, with the reds.
Yeah.
The metallic,
and the silver,
blue and the red. Iconic. That's. I'll be interested to see AlphaTauri actually.
Do you reckon they'll flip it back again?
That's what I mean. They just
they had the white and then they just invert it.
I didn't mind the latest one. The white and the blue it grew on me. It grew on me.
I just thought the car looked a bit chunky, almost like along with the livery.
Oh, but Niran, you're talking
like
about
a fridge.
Different there, right?
Yeah, no, I know. Yeah. It was just how they kind of merged.
I think it looked a bit like a fridge.
It's so harsh.
So
what like a dishwasher?
Hey, look, you get those like Smeg fridges, which are really nice. So
Harry Maguire said, how dare you?
So what we saying? Stinker for 23. I'm saying Williams livery wise, stinker.
Yeah, well,
what's the smelly one?
Disagree.
Is there any other teams that are?
Haas could bring something poor to the table as well.
No,
it's going to be Williams. It is going to be Williams realistically,
mate.
Okay, and then banger.
Scuderia Ferrari as always. Although, mate, I tell you what, Mercedes towards the latter stage of last season when it became fast. I really hated it at the start of the season, but
it did look better,
mate.
By the end of the year,
the winglets tinted with the Petronas green, mate. It looked from certain angles, certain light.
I'm sorry, sexy cars are fast cars. 2019 Mercedes, one of the best looking F1 cars
ever.
I think unreal. That livery, the setup, and it was rapid. The Ferrari, beautiful, rapid.
Wait, 2019 was that the black livery? Was that
no? That was one before that. So yeah, it was a silver that faded to the black.
So Mercedes always just looks like an evil villain. Apart from this year, it looks like a
West McLaren.
Oh, that's a serious one. Bring that back as well.
Icon. But yeah, the 1 year they don't deliver a banger.
Yeah, no.
Where the car just looks like I don't know. It doesn't look like an evil villain.
Yeah. You know what my shout is actually? Alfa Romeo. I feel like they keep making these liveries that are like almost like, oh my God, that is essential.
Well, we know it won't be Alfa for much longer. Actually,
true.
This is the last year of Alfa Romeo sponsorship. 2023.
So it becomes...
They pull out at the end of 23,
again,
and then it's back to Sauber for 24, 25, and then Audi from 26. We don't know, obviously, for 24, 25, whether Audi will get like a naming rights deal or maybe. So this is the last year of Alfa Romeo.
And I will tell you what, when Audi come in, that bloody dog concept they put together with the orange, it needs to look sicker than that, right? That Audi concept.
There's way too much paint on it for that to be. Do you not like it?
It's just going to be another grey team again.
Yeah.
Can we stop this, please? We had this like 10 years ago. So do you remember when Sauber was grey as well? I was like, lads, come on.
You know what annoys is they'll like... They'll release one of these like paint, the AlphaTauri like paint livery that they did for Miami, which was just on a show car. And Williams did an American one with all the American. I was like, put that on the car.
Yeah.
And then they just do the
it doesn't make sense.
Well, no, because it draws eyeballs. Like this is why McLaren did the Golf livery at Monaco because it drew eyeballs and people loved it. So they're gonna. I'm sure we'll get a few special editions this year.
Fingers crossed, mate. Maybe Alpha pull something out. I've just clocked actually why you like the Alpha livery. Denso. Supra. Gran Turismo.
Yes.
That's why you're onto
It's like the old Toyota.
Yeah.
Kind of not quite as chaotic with the pattern, but
I just clocked it.
What, the Super GT one?
Yeah. No, F1
Oh, right. Sorry. Yeah.
With the white and the reds.
Yeah.
That's another absolute worldie.
Okay.
Okay. So yeah, I think best. I'm also saying Ferrari.
Right,
Revert to type.
Boring pick, mate.
Revert to type.